questions, I'm totally fine if you raise your hand, interject, whatever. We're here to help you. All right, some things I'm going to talk about. Choosing your health plan. Dylan mentioned you have 2 plans to choose from. So I'm going to help you give you some ideas of which one maybe you should probably lean towards. Using your health plan. Once you have your health plan, how do you use it to get the best bang for your buck? And tips and tools. I'm just going to pass on a few little tips and tools that I've learned along my 19 years of health insurance. All right, I'm going to go over just a few terms that you hear all the time when you talk about health insurance. You probably already know them, but I'm just going to touch on them really quickly. You have your copay. So your copay is that flat assigned fee that you pay in addition to what Anthem pays. So you're going to see that copay when you go to your primary care doctor and you pay that $35 copay. Then there's the deductible. The deductible is the amount that you pay before Anthem starts paying. So you pay that deductible and then you start paying a percent. So on a PPO plan, you pay 20%, Anthem pays 80% until that out-of-pocket max is met. The out-of-pocket is the absolute most that you would pay on that plan for that year. Everybody good on the terms? All right, just a couple of things to remember. Both of these plans, they have the same access to doctors, hospitals, and all your other healthcare providers. They have pharmacy benefits, both plans do, and they also have mail order. Free preventative care. Both of these plans, you're still going to be able to go and get your preventative care at 100%. And there's also health and wellness tools online that I'm going to go over that's going to help you utilize your benefits better. All right, I chose this slide because it kind of puts the 2 plans side by side so that you can kind of see where the differences lie. You're accustomed to the PPO today. You have your $35 copay when you go to the doctor. You have that $1,750 employee deductible for single coverage. Family's $3,500. So you're going to see the CDHP, which stands for Consumer Driven Health Plan. You're going to see that has a 3,000 employee and a 6,000 family. Now, where you're going to see the differences is on an office visit. It says deductible and coinsurance. So on that plan, there are no copays. So that's going to be a little different. And I'm going to talk about how that's going to work when you go to the doctor's office and you're not paying a copay. You're probably thinking, well, what am I going to pay? And we'll talk about that. Your out-of-pocket, you're going to notice on both of these plans is the exact same amount. So worst case scenario, you're going to be out-of-pocket if you have single coverage, $5,500 on both plans. If you have family, $11,000. So that's similar in those plans. Your prescription drugs, you're used to that tiered system right now, the 10, 50, 70, 25%. And you're going to see deductible coinsurance on that CDHP plan. So everything's going towards that deductible and coinsurance on that plan. So that is a change from what you're used to today. And we'll get into that some more. All right, just to touch on the PPO, I know you all know that like the back of your hand, but the PPO plan, you have copays. You have your deductible that you pay, like if you went into the hospital, things like that. You have that coinsurance that you pay, and all that equals up to the out-of-pocket max. You stop paying, the plan pays 100%. Now, with the CDHP plan, with this plan, you have the option of a health savings account. Does anyone know what that is? Have you heard that? They've been swirling around? That's a really nice benefit that goes along with this plan. That's an opportunity for you to take pre-tax dollars and put them aside into a savings account. You're going to get a debit card. So whenever you're paying your bills, you're going to be able to write that number on there or swipe that card with those pre-tax dollars. The best thing about that is you're never going to lose that money. It's going to stay with you. And we'll touch on that a little bit. So you have your health savings account. You have your annual deductible because everything's going towards that deductible. Once that deductible's satisfied, Anthem pays 80%, you pay 20% until you meet that out-of-pocket max. And that's what that percent is down in. Key features, I talked about those a little bit. That money stays with you forever. So if you're a relatively healthy person, now's the time to start throwing those bucks back pre-tax. I sat with a lady a couple of months ago. She had $40,000 in her health savings account. Like she had been saving it over the years, just building up. Because it rolls over every single year. So that's money she's going to be able to take with her when she retires, if she needs long-term care, things like that. So now's the time to start putting that money back. Even if you left the company, that money goes with you. Let's take a look at how the plan works. This is Carol. She decided to put $3,400 in her HSA account. Now, for a single person, the IRS does regulate how much money you can put into an HSA account. For 2018, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, it's $3,450 for a single person and $6,900 if you have a family. If you're 55 and older, you can put in an additional $1,000 to play catch up. So Carol decided to put in $3,400. She went and had her preventative visits done. They were covered at 100%, so she didn't have to pay anything out of her pocket. And she got some prescription drugs filled, so she paid $150 for the year. So at the end of the year, she had $3,250 left over, and that's going to roll over to next year. And if she wants to, she can put in another $3,400 or however much she wants to contribute. And then we have the Wilson family. They had their preventative visits done again, covered at 100%. Physical therapy, they had to pay $800. Prescription drugs, they had to pay $200. This is all going towards their deductible. So they were left with $1,200 that they were able to roll over to the next year, and they can put in however much they want for the next year. All right, I know you all been thinking this whole time I've been talking. What do you pay when you go to the doctor's office? What will typically happen is when you go to the provider and you give them your card and they see that you're on a CDHP plan, they are going to bill Anthem. Anthem is going to apply that contracted rate. So let's say maybe they charge someone off the street $150 for that doctor's visit. Well, Anthem may have a negotiated rate with them for maybe $80. So that's what you would pay out of your HSA funds or out of your pocket, whichever you decided to do. We would send you an EOB, or an explanation of benefits, and we would show you exactly how we applied our negotiated rate and what you should pay the doctor. What's really nice about that piece is when you get that bill in, you want to make sure those two match. Sometimes, the doctor's office may accidentally bill you for whatever, but you just need to make sure those match. If they don't, call Anthem and we will reach out to the provider and have that taken care of for you. So make sure those match. Then you get the bill in the mail from the doctor's office. You can take your debit card, write the number on there, mail that back to the doctor's office. Now, I will tell you, some providers, it's a few, but some of them will, if you're on a CDHP plan, they could potentially ask you for a copay up front. You could swipe your HSA card at that time. That's what I do when I go to the doctor. My doctor requires some kind of a fee up front. I just swipe my HSA card, and then he bills me for whatever's left after that. Any questions about how the claims work or how we pay those? Pharmacy benefits. A little bit of a change for 2018. You all are moving to our essential drug list. Now, I will tell you there is a drug out there in every therapeutic class. So when you're out there searching for your drugs, make sure you put the essential drug list. If you're pulling up your medication and you do not see that it's covered, don't freak out. There is an approval process. So if you've tried generics, if you've tried other things and they just did not work for you at all, there is a process that your doctor can go through to make sure that you can continue to take that medication. So don't let that freak you out. Using your health plan. Okay, we talked about the two plans that are going to be offered to you all. So how can you use those going forward? All right, register. I'm begging. Register on Anthem.com. Such a great resource out there. You can look at your EOBs before you even get anything in the mail. As soon as that claim hits, it's going to pop up out there. There's a cost comparison tool out there that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. That's really, really great, especially if you're thinking about the CDHP plan.
Message from Subway coupons. You can say read it or ignore.
You can. There's a health assessment out there you can take. There's lots of different tools out there. And we'll talk about all over the place. I also highly recommend that you download Anthem's mobile app. It's called Anthem Anywhere out on your app store. If you're out traveling somewhere, you can pull that app up. If you need to go to an urgent care or you need some kind of medical attention, you can look to see who's in network. Because we know if you stay in network, you get that 80% versus if you go out of network, it's 60%. So download the app, it will use your GPS and it'll find a provider in your area. Because any Blue Cross Blue Shield provider would be considered in-network for you. Okay, evaluate your costs before you get care. This is one of my favorite tools on the website when you register. It's over on your right-hand side. It's a cost comparison tool. So you're able to go out there, if you know you have to have like a knee surgery, if you have to have an MRI or something like that, you can actually pull that up and it will search the providers and the hospitals in your area and give you a ballpark figure of the cost, which is really nice if you're on that CDHP plan and you're having to pay that $3,000 deductible. So kind of think about it like this. When you're shopping for a TV or some furniture, you're not just rushing into the first store and purchasing that TV, are you? We shop around, all right? Because we want the best price. So think about this. If you need like an MRI done, you're like, oh, I can go to the hospital and get that done, no big deal. Well, guess what? There might be a freestanding facility just a little bit down the street that does the exact same test. They have the exact same equipment. That hospital might charge you $3,000. That freestanding facility is probably going to be around $600. So you can shop for your health care just like you're shopping for those TVs and for those furniture. And this tool can help you. Now, if you're out there and you don't see one of the hospitals, that is only because they did not give us permission to release that data. That doesn't mean they're not in the network.
Hannah, can we give some real life testimony about this? So honestly, regardless if you're going PPO or CDHP, this is incredible. And one example, Keegan, you guys know Keegan from Allstate. He sent me an email on Friday and said, hey, help, I gotta go get a CT scan and they're gonna charge me $1,400. So basically what happened to him was what happens to everybody. His doctor says, all right, this is what we need. I'm gonna send you over to Deaconess or wherever they usually send the people, and they're not trying to do anything wrong, it's just how they usually do things, right? And so Keegan was kind of smart about it and said, okay, what's it gonna cost me? So he called Deaconess and they said it's gonna be $1,400. And he said, the plan is paying. He said, no, you're gonna get charged $1,400 for the scan. So he called me and said, hey, I can't afford to pay $1,400. I mean, who can? So all I did was get on Anthem.com and I went to shop, and within 50 miles of what I put our radius to be, Madisonville allowed him to do the exact same CT scan for $187. So we're talking over $1,200 in savings to driving 30 miles, right? This thing is powerful. Sharon's got her own story too, if you want to share it.
Well, I was needed to get a colonoscopy done, and I just take whatever my doctor script, whatever he tells me, and I go wherever they tell you to go. Well, we don't necessarily think that we have that ability to do that. One of the great things about that was, and Dylan told me about it, so I went on literally the day before I was supposed to get my procedure, went to that exact site, looked up costs, and shopped, and here at Methodist it was $1,200. In Evansville it was $900. And in Owensboro, at a separate surgery center, it was $600. So when we're talking about significant costs, we don't, we assume we've got insurance that they're going to cover everything. That's not the case. So, wellness stuff is covered, but when it comes to diagnostic things, that's not covered. So really, there's lots of great tools on the Anthem website. You need to sign up for that. You need to get involved in your healthcare and know what you guys have. There's videos, there's all that stuff. Those resources are there, and check them out.
And so Sharon and Keegan had the same question. When we found that best price, what do we do? What do we do now? They've already booked the appointment for us. All you gotta do is call your doctor's office back and say, hey, I found a better price. I'd like to go to this place instead. And usually they will cancel the original booking and go ahead and set this one up for you. If they don't, you can do it on your own, but usually they'll do it for you. So it's pretty easy. Just make sure you shop. You don't have to be super confrontational with anybody and just say, hey, I don't want to pay 3 times what you're asking to pay.
Well, and to be honest with you, when I called the doctor's office, I pretty much said, look, I just looked at my shop, what the cost was going to be for my out-of-pocket, and I can save over, $900. So why wouldn't I want to do that? I got to look out what's best for me financially.
And if you have any questions, because I know it's not important to it's important, grab me or either Sharon. We've all done it, and we'll take you right through it. It's 3 clicks of the mouse, and once we take you through it, you'll know how to do it forever.
It's really easy, and actually they have a they have an app too. So.
All right, thank you all so much.
Is there like a rating scale on that too? Of the
Yes.
Facility?
Yep. There's ratings out there. That's
Yep,
what you want.
documentation and accreditation and things
The
like
best
that.
thing about this rating scale, and tell me if I speak out of turn, is it's only rated by those who have proof that they went through a procedure or a scan. Anthem is not gonna let just some Joe off the street, maybe the doctor's son, say, hey, this guy's a death, right? I mean,
They're
you
validated.
have to have gone through
Yeah.
the procedure, you have to have the EOB up back in, and then you can rate it.
Yeah, very good. Thank you all so much for that. So it's not just the crazy insurance lady telling you this stuff, it's really happening. So use the cost comparison tool, you heard it, it's awesome. Another one of my favorites is Live Health Online. Has anyone heard of this?
Yep.
Everybody, right? Online doctor service, it's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So your holidays, your weekends. I've called a few times, I love it. I get a sinus infection twice a year. I know what it is. I know exactly when it's gonna happen. Instead of going and sitting at the urgent care for 2 hours now, I can call, have them on my phone like a FaceTime. I can get my prescription within 20 minutes. It's awesome. Starting January 1st, they're actually going to have psychiatrists on there, so there's a behavioral health piece. And they will be able to prescribe medication.
Yeah, big news.
So right now, they have social workers and psychologists out there. Starting January 1st, psychiatrists, which is very nice.
And, I'm sorry, I'm butting again. All right, so you guys have all heard of this. And if I'm saying you haven't, you just forgot because you've all heard of this. The best thing about it is for our company, any PPTG employee who uses this will be reimbursed for the cost. Okay, so next year, the PPO users will be charged $35 copay, right? All you have to do is bring in your EOB or show us proof, and we're gonna pay you right back. All right, look at Rachel, she's gonna pay you right back. She's smiling, she's happy. She's already done it for me twice. You're working. And then if you're on the HSA or the CDHP plan, they're gonna be charged the full $49, but we're gonna pay you back anyway. Okay? So regardless of the cost, you're gonna be reimbursed. Why is that? We want you to use this service. It is so much cheaper. And I know this is a weird feeling going around of, how in the world are they gonna diagnose me when they're looking at me through a camera phone? Okay, I get that. I had the same feeling. I was up in Philadelphia when I worked for Blue Cross. It was about a year and a half ago, and that was the feeling in the room. Okay, we got these great technological advances that we should be using, but people don't feel comfortable with them. We had 3 doctors in the room, tenured doctors, been doctors for a while, and they said, let me tell you the truth. Over 85% of all diagnoses come from 1, what you tell us, and 2, what's going around. That's the only 2 criteria for 85+% of all diagnoses. You can do that to the phone. You can tell them what's going on, and they're in your area generally, and so they know what's going around. There's also some cool things. If you have a sore throat, you can put your camera down your throat and all that kind of stuff too. But just so you know, those are the 2 main criteria, and I hope you guys can feel comfortable with it. Again, I've used it twice, 1 for each of my girls. It's worked really, really well. And did I mention it's free? That's the best price you can get. And they can fill your prescription, they can write prescriptions for you wherever you want. If you're here locally or if you live in Evansville, either one. You basically say, hey, I go to Walmart, I go to Walgreens, and they say, okay, perfect, I said your script down there, they'll be ready for you. That's as easy as it can get. Sorry, I keep butting in.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much. What I do like to tell all my groups when I talk about Live Health Online, if your arm's dangling off, do not call, go to the ER. All right, 24-hour nurse line. This is available to you all as well. This number is on the back of your ID card. If you're at home and you just need some medical advice, or you're thinking, can I wait and go to the doctor? Should I call Live Health Online? Do I need to go to the ER? But you can talk to a nurse 24 hours a day. If our nurse tells you to go to the emergency room, and we get that claim, and it turns out to be non-emergent, normally those are denied, we would pay that because our nurse told you to go to the emergency room. So definitely use the nurse line. It's available to you, it's free of charge.
Is that on what policy?
Yes, both plans. Very good question. That's on both plans, the nurse line. Member services, just a reminder, you have a customer service number on the back of your card. If you have questions about your claims, you need help with a provider, whatever it may be, that is a great resource for you as well. You can reach out to them. Discounts. When you go out to Anthem.com, you get discounts just for being an Anthem member. So again, register so you can take advantage of those. There's LASIK discounts, gym memberships, weight loss programs, tons of different things out there that you can utilize. All right, tips and tools. This is a good one. Number one, save the emergency room for emergent situations. So that's gonna be life or limb threatening. Now, of course, if you are certain that you're having a heart attack or something like that, and it turns out to be something else, if you feel like your life's in danger, we want you to go, and we'll work on it on the back end. But try to save that for life or limb threatening events. See doctors in your plan. Download that app so that if you're traveling somewhere, you're able to search for providers and stay in network so you can get the best benefit. Pre-approved hospital services. If you know you have a major test coming up or a surgery, usually the providers are pretty good about calling that in and getting a pre-authorization. Just make sure you stay on top of them and make sure they get that done so there's no surprises. And then, of course, use the estimate your cost tool so that you know ahead of time, hey, I can go to this freestanding facility and save a ton of money versus going to the hospital for this same test. And then don't forget about your discounts that I just mentioned. Questions? That was a lot of information. Nobody has any questions? Yeah,
On the prescription, you said it was 30-day and 90-day.
yes.
I have 90-day prescriptions I would like to get, but I can't get them through Walmart because Anthem doesn't approve the 90-day through Walmart.
You have to use,
It has to be made.
yeah.
I don't like it anymore.
That's what I do.
I would think that heat and cold affects it because it says don't store your stuff, and when they send that stuff out in the mail truck, it's hot in those trucks, they don't have AC.
Yeah, it should
Do
be,
that?
yes,
Yeah, I get my husband's medication like that all the time, and it's dry ice,
yeah.
and I do it through.
Yeah, if a medication has to stay a certain temperature, they're gonna keep it that certain temperature, because I think if it reaches a certain something, you're not even supposed to take it. So, yeah,
That was my question, because
yeah,
Walmart's pretty cheap, and they've offered to do the 90-day thing for $4, but Anthem won't approve it because it's at Walmart.
yeah.
So I thought, well, for $4, for 90 days.
I understand what you're saying, but give it a try, give Express Script a try.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't before.
Oh, okay. Well, catch me after this so I can just get some information, because I want to pass stuff like that on. If you're having issues, I want to know about them so that we can pass that on and work through processes. 'Cause we don't want you to have that experience at all. We want you to get your medication and
Go
be
to
happy.
Walmart, get our medicine and leave,
I
Not
know.
It's just more convenient.
Wait for it to
I see
mail.
what they're,
Yeah.
that's the.
And not only that, we live out in the country, you got kids that like to do stuff, well, if I'm going to work, somebody gets in my mailbox, where's my medicine?
Normally, if you have a prescription like that is temperature controlled, they're gonna tell you exactly when it's coming so that you're home or you have somebody sign for it or something like that, yeah.
Have them mail it to me at work.
That's all I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
if that's what it takes.
If that's,
Just questions.
yeah. That's a good question, thank you. Yeah,
Okay, on the CDHP insurance,
yeah.
who funds that?
The health savings
The employee
account,
has to put money in that account
correct.
and draw off of it on different things.
Go, if you would, go back to the spreadsheet and side by side. The company's gonna put $300 automatic in there for everybody single and $600 for family, okay? And if you look, it's not on here, but your payroll reductions, your cost for the CDHP are gonna be about $10 a week less through payroll reduction. And I don't have the number for family, but
It's a little bit more, I think
It's
it's
a
like,
little bit
total's like
more.
$30 and $40. Yeah.
let's concentrate on single right now. So right off the bat on the CDHP, the company will give you $300. And if your payroll reduction are $10 a week, that's another $500 a year. Say, okay, it's in the handout there, okay? So it's another $500. So you're starting off as a single person with $800 a year on the CDHP. So let's talk about a couple scenarios. Any of y'all in the last year not had any claim, never went to the doctor? Okay, a handful, 4 or 5. So just thinking out loud. So if you stay on the plan you are today, and like that next year, then you've overspent by $800. Okay, you're giving away the company's $300, plus you paid another $10 a week in payroll reductions that didn't do any good. On the other hand, if you went to CDHP and did that, at the end of next year, you got $800 for the next year, and the next year, and the next year. Okay, so let's look at it. Has anybody here had $10,000 no claim, had, and don't raise your hand please, but let's just say that somebody had a lot of claims, okay? So in that scenario, look at this max out-of-pocket limit, they're the same. And yet, so over here, you would have paid another $500 a year for this. So really and truly, your max out-of-pocket over here was $6,000 extra with your extra payroll reduction. So if you have very little claims, in this case less than $800 a year in claims, you'd be better off with the CDHP, okay? Or if you had lots of claims, you're gonna be better off with that because you can spend $10 a week less for it. Okay? Now if you're in between those two slots, then it's just a matter of, okay, here's the worst case scenario for somebody. Let's say that somebody had $5,000 in claims last year and it happened January 1. Okay? On January 1, you're only gonna have $300 from the company in there, okay? Plus your $10 a week, so you're not gonna have a lot of money in there right to start off with. So so if in the year you're probably still better off with this plan, but you had to pre-fund it, okay, on the front end. That's the only potential downside that you just need to know that if something happened January 1. But the other thing about it, just think about it. There's probably some people in here that's got $500 up on car insurance, $2,500, maybe it's on some others. The point is, there's no one plan that is better suited for any one person. You gotta decide what's best, you know. I can't look at you and say, this plan is best for you and this plan is best for you. You gotta make that determination. But for most people, I can tell you, this is gonna be better off for you long term. The other thing that we didn't talk about, that money in that HSA account, you use for not only medical and pharmacy, but you use vision and dental as well. Okay? So every dollar that you put in there pre-tax goes in there pre-tax. So if you commit to put $20 a pay period, you really didn't put $20 in there. You put about 15 because you saved the taxes on it. We're saying put the other $5 in there for you. So you save that. So now you're paying for your medical, your dental, your vision, and your pharmacy all with pre-tax dollars versus paying. The way I look at it, you're buying them wholesale versus retail. Okay, because you're going to save 20 to 30% depending on your tax situation, everything you put in that account. One other thing you can do that you need to know, you know, company's going to pre-tax through your payroll deduction, everything going in there. Okay? Let's say something happened in the middle of the year. Let's say you put $2,000 a year in it, and that's whatever, $40 a pay period, and company's going to give you $2,300, and you decide you're going to have LASIK surgery. Okay, or you got a child that needs braces, or something along those lines, okay? It's not in there. Well, don't write a check to that doctor for it. Write a check or make a deposit over a period of time in that account, that HSA account at that, what's the bank going to be?
Probably Independence.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Select account.
Select, yeah.
account, okay. Deposit that check in there and then pay for it with your debit card, and then whatever amount you made a direct deposit in there, take it off April 15th. Okay, so you can use it as a planning tool. And if you got some big expenses pop up that you didn't put in the payroll, you can still put it in that account. Then whatever that amount is, you know, you can take it off your taxes every week through your paycheck, or you can make a big deposit and take it off April 15th. Okay, so why pay retail for it? We can pay for it 20, 30% less with the HSA account. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. End result is, again, please don't no one here is trying to say everybody needs to go in this account. It's not for everybody. This is not for everybody either though. Okay? But for most people, if they understand it, if you have less than $800 a year in claim, you're better off over this. Okay? Right off the bat. If you have a lot of claim, you're still better off because both have the same limitation on top end. It's just a matter of how you get there. I see a lot of blank faces in there. Right over. I'm sorry now? There you go. You know, that's what I like about it is I carry my debit card with me. I understand there, I got to pay that first $3,000 a year. Okay? And after that, it's going to kick in at 80%, and I've got to potentially this much out of pocket. But I know what it costs me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. What's the copay? What's the co-insurance? You know what it's going to cost you.
And you know, Gary mentioned, what if something catastrophic happens on January 1st? Well, a lot of times hospitals will work a payment plan out with you. So you know, as that money's hitting your HSA account from your payroll deductions, you can turn around and pay monthly on that hospital bill. So that's an option too.
Just in time.
All right, now we have Aflac.
That was.
So we said perfect timing.
Before Chad gets up there, any questions on medical, you know, at all?
Yeah.
So the doctor on, what's the youngest age that they'll do?
That's a really good question. I have a 1-year-old, and I've actually not called for her just because I will call my pediatrician, and they always want to see her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say probably anything under 2. You're gonna wanna call your pediatrician and run that through them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
question
if
mark.
something happened during the middle of the night, if the baby got into something that wasn't supposed to, you can call the nurse and,
Absolutely, yes.
cause we ran into an ordeal, actually over the weekend when I was home. Baby got in the baby lotion somehow, one of the kids left on the floor, the baby opened it up and
I know the struggle.
But,
Yeah.
you know, the number that they had you call on the back of the lotion, when you,
Was it poison control?
yeah, or
They're
the
usually
number,
pretty good.
the number that they had, and you press 3 to ask about that, if it was ingested or whatever, it would go right back through the menu again. Each time.
I've not had that experience before.
And it was, with, Baby Mac.
Huh. Yeah, you could call the nurse line, yes. They can help you.
But we,
Put it on.
I was able to finally get hold of somebody at the hospital. And they said, well, how much really do you have? Well, most ingredients are okay, not harmful, but, you know, we didn't know that now.
Right, yes. Yes, you could call the nurse line for that. Absolutely. Did you have a question down here? I feel like you raised your hand. Are you sure? I wasn't going to your phones. Any other questions? I'm gonna be around after the meeting. If you have a one-on-one, I'll be happy to chat with you about that. After
Sorry, back here. Live Health Online, if they do think it's an emergency, they will tell you to go to the emergency room also, just like the nurse line.
Yes,
And that at
absolutely.
personal experience, we called in and they said this is out of our realm, and they sent us to the ER.
Yeah, very good point. All right, Aflac,
Okey dokey.
you're up.
So, I guess y'all heard of Aflac before, probably.
You've seen the commercial.
Marquis, you there you go.
Before you get started, Chad, I gotta play this video. Okay, and I apologize up front, but if you wanna laugh, I took one of those little ducks home that you squeeze it and it says Aflac, okay, to my 3-year-old grandson. And he just learned to talk.
Jackson, tell me what your duck says.
Grandpa's commercial.
And he's into it too. Aflac, Aflac. Yeah, like a waterfall.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm Chad Thompson. I'm actually y'all's local Aflac representative here, so I'll be the one that helps you. Of course, we'll be doing the enrollment here in a couple of weeks, but also as far as filing claims, that's something that we handle personally as well. So when you don't have to call a 1-800 number or anything, you can actually call us directly. There'll be a couple other people here as well, but you actually can call our direct cell phone numbers. We help you walk through the process. And so anytime you ever think you have a claim and you want to call and ask questions, those kind of things, you can always give us a call. I've got plenty of policyholders that text me. Obviously, probably during business hours, but you know. Does anybody know? Obviously, we've got short-term disability, and we've got life insurance that's available as well this year through Aflac. So, can anybody tell me why it might be a good idea to have short-term disability?
In case you get hurt and all work.
There you can see. I got you that too. I get you that. That's right. So obviously, I mean, life happens. You know, there's things that we can't control, injuries, illnesses that come up. And as much as you love working here,
most people do it because they need the money, right?
Yeah.
Because they're really bored, right? So that's the big thing too. I mean, me too, right? We work obviously to provide for our families, to pay for cover our expenses and things like that. So if anything ever came up, I mean, you weren't able to cover your house payment, car payments, and things like that, most of us would be in a bind pretty quick. So again, that's why short-term disability is important to have. So this year, basically, you can do. This year, it's guaranteed issued at initial enrollment. All right, so you guys have a guaranteed issue amount of at least $1,500 per month of guaranteed issue coverage. That means even if you have pre-existing conditions, you can still get coverage. So, but you need to do it this year. So if you're thinking about it, then I would recommend you do it this year. You can always drop it, next year, but if you did the other way around, you might not be able to qualify for it. So you've got a guaranteed issue amount of $1,500 per month. Obviously, they're getting about a huge reduction on premiums because they're doing payroll deduction for you. So if you're injured off the job, or so it's not going to cover an injury if you get hurt on the job. Of course, you have workers' comp for those things, and then off the job, workers' comp doesn't have to do with that. So that's where your short-term disability, you can lean on that. Pre-existing conditions. So even if you actually have a pre-existing condition, if you actually file for a claim for something that was pre-existing within the first 12 months, you can still at least receive 50% of your regular amount. So it's not going to say, hey, sorry, it was pre-existing, you can't get coverage. So we do have a partial disability. So if you're like me, if you're hurt or sick and you do have to be off work, then okay, you can do that. But if you're like me, you're probably going to try to get back to work as soon as you can, right? So Aflac has a partial disability. So if you're even, because they want you to get back to work, and obviously your supervisors and managers and things, that they want you to get back to work too. So, and we don't want to penalize you for that, because what happens if you're not ready to go back to work, but you want to try it, right? You don't know if you're well enough yet. So we want to encourage you to do that. So if you get back to work, but you're not full-time yet, you can still receive a partial disability, which is 50% of your total disability now. And then it's portable. So actually, if you retire, or if you, well, I guess not if you retire, so you wouldn't be employed at that point. But say if you decide to leave here, or they wanted to leave for any reason, you could actually take this with you. And the premiums are locked in. So we also have you can cover up to 50% of your gross income with a maximum of $3,000 per month. So the waiver premium benefits, if you're off of work for more than 90 days, and they're going to waive the premiums so until you get back to work. Obviously, it'd be kind of hard to pay for your insurance if you didn't have a paycheck for a while. So, any questions on that? And that one does cover, again, illnesses, injuries, and then even maternity too. Yes.
Okay. With me traveling like I am for my line of work, say the wife gets sick or something, I had to come home and help take care of the kids and her, I wouldn't be able to work. Would we still be covered for that?
So this one here, the way we file a claim, is going to be based off of your diagnosis. So if somebody needs to file a claim, there's going to be a form that your physician has to say that you're the one medically, needs to be off for medical reasons. So in that case, you would be able to withdraw a benefit, because you weren't the one that needed to be off work. That is a good question.
Or does your wife work somewhere? Does she?
No, not right now.
Okay.
We have a newborn and she's working right now.
Gotcha.
We got being gone.
Gotcha.
Now, you said about the addiction deal. I'm getting ready for a total hip replacement surgery in March next year.
Okay.
How long do I gotta wait before it actually kicks in?
So y'all, this is short-term disability that y'all are going to be effective 1/1.
Yes.
Do you know when you're going to have that? It's going to be
In March.
for March, you said. So that'll be within that first 12 months. So that since that's pre-existing, you couldn't receive the full benefit that you.
I'll be off work for 2 months.
Okay, so you'll receive a partial benefit, since that's something that was pre-existing,
Right.
and filed within the first 12 months. But you can still receive partial benefits on that for sure. Yeah. And in because y'all have so many employees here, y'all get special stuff that I can't. We don't get to offer to most companies. So that's most people. If you have a pre-existing condition, then you don't get any coverage at all on a lot of that kind of stuff. So if it's filed within a certain amount of period. So basically, y'all's short-term disability that y'all have here is pretty unique and pretty good. Any more questions on that one? Yeah.
Oh, $1,500, yeah, $1,500.
It's the guaranteed issue amount per month.
but you're not guaranteed, but you're getting a percentage of salary up to that amount. Not everybody can get the 1,500.
Yes, so
It's 60%, what's the percentage of salary?
50%.
50%.
So 50% of their gross income, but 1,500 of that is guaranteed issue. So even if you said, hey, I've got pre-existing conditions, you can at least get $1,500 of coverage per month.
I have a question. I have short-term disability from a previous employer. So, do I need to transfer onto this or keep that old policy?
We'll have to take a look at it.
Okay.
I would say bring your information in when you sit down with your enroller.
Okay.
And we can come do that on the 28th and 29th.
Okay.
Because, you know, it depends on, you know, what kind of plan you have. I hate to tell you to
Right.
switch over that one, you know. So
Okay.
I'd rather, you know, make sure we tell you right, but kind of looking at them, comparing them and everything, so, yeah. Any more questions on that? All right. So the next one there is the,
Keyboard.
oh, there you go. It didn't work.
Yeah, keep on it, it will.
There we go. Yeah, I keep trying. So, y'all probably start worrying about me after that. So again, this is the life insurance that's available. So again, this is portable as well. And we do have guarantee issue amounts of $25,000 for an employee, $10,000 for the spouse, and $5,000 per child. So you also have, if you want to choose more than that, obviously you can just have some underwriting questions. So the employee can go up to $100,000, spouse can do $50,000, and then obviously if you do less than that, your spouse just can't do. Like if you had $50,000 yourself, your spouse could get $50,000. But if you did more than that, your spouse just couldn't exceed $50,000. But then the children can do up to $25,000. Then of course we've got the 10, 20, and 30-year term options on there as well. I personally like term insurance instead of whole life, just because the premiums are about half, and y'all's are even like half of what we normally offer. So the term is a really good, because my uncle, he's a financial advisor for Hilliard Lyons, and he actually explained to me, he said, well, look, you know, does it make more sense instead of paying a lot for a whole life insurance that's going to last your entire life, or you know, because obviously the insurance company knows you're going to file a claim, so you have to pay extra. So, or does it make sense to maybe pay half that premium at that point? You can use your money, get the money that you're saving for other things. You know, if you had other insurance coverages or, you know, savings, those kind of things. But then you're able to take a term policy and cover it really when you need it the most. You know, some of you guys have kids, like I have kids. I've got a 4-year-old daughter, I've got a 2.5-year-old boy, and I've got one due in January. So I've got a term policy that's going to last at least until they're out of college. So when they're out of college, also, they're not relying on my income. So really what I want to do is make sure at least I have coverage until they're out of the house, they're not relying on my income. Have more, maybe my house payment covered and things like that. So instead of covering until the day I die, I'm really covering more when we need it the most, if that makes sense. So again, that's where you see a pretty big difference in the premiums there as well. Anybody got any questions on that one there? Yeah.
It says up there that covered dependents must not be disabled. What exactly does that mean?
So there's a question on the application that's going to ask if your spouse is currently unable to work. So if you're currently disabled or unable to work, we wouldn't be able to cover the spouse at that time
Okay.
until they were able to work. But I'll get you that for a question.
Thank you.
So for employees, guaranteed up to that $100,000 threshold. Anything beyond that, there'd be a question there, just like you would any other. As long as you're insurable, you can still buy more than that. But the good news is a lot of us may know somebody that maybe can't qualify for life insurance here that could get the $100,000. No question to ask.
Well, yeah, so that's the simplified, you're right, that's the simplified issue. Then the guarantee issue amount is the 25 for the employee and 10 for the spouse. So
what kind of premiums are there on those?
well, that's where on the 28th and 29th, we're going to sit down with everybody one-on-one. We've got a sheet. So again, that's going to depend on age, tobacco, non-tobacco, also then your, you know, whether you want 10, 20, or 30-year term. And then also you know, how much coverage do you want? So there's a lot of different factors that kind of roll into that. But hey, I'll be good with it. There you go, you can find somebody good at it. Does anybody have more questions on those two coverages there?
Yeah, what's the fee, what's the cost?
So
That's all.
yeah,
You just said.
so that's when on the 28th, 29th, we'll bring in, yeah, there's some data.
I got it,
Get another.
Kevin had.
Save it up for somebody else. He does, yeah.
Never know, maybe somebody talk to you.
He does say.
Does it talk?
He talks.
See, now don't you wish you had
He
a
talks.
cause you ain't got no friends.
Okay.
Just get talking to you.
So basically, we won't know that about the pricing until,
Well, we might, though. We have a lot of people wanting to get some prices prior to, I don't know if y'all want this
I'm
sent
sure
out
that's
before.
account HR and then.
well, see, the only question I had about it,
Okay.
well, the only question I had about it was, the price for the kids.
Okay. I will,
What was it? Miss Ethan?
I'm sorry.
The price for
The
kids?
children, that says, it's like all children, so the price that's listed is like for 10,000 coverage was.
yeah, whether you've got one kid or 5 kids, yeah, they're all the same thing.
You get the same price.
Yeah.
So I just paid the $2.80 to have
Yeah.
four kids. So that
And cover that, whatever you can do up to, the kids can be covered up to the 5, sorry, that's the guarantee.
so that's a one-time monthly fee, not that amount of times.
So did y'all, did you give them a weekly premium?
Yeah, it's probably the way to $20 and something a week for 25,000.
I do know that like on most life insurance, kids are, well, honestly, getting covered kids is not something we ever want to think about. I mean, keep that as far as my mind as possible, but it's a reality. What you're talking about is the price on that. I personally have my kids covered life insurance.
But I was asking if that was that amount, 4 or 5 kids, or that amount for each.
Oh, no, it's one amount for all your kids covered. Yes, so this year, we're giving short-term disability and life insurance. No, that's not. So this is gonna be, so the difference too, real quick, I'll just kind of recap too, so I was talking a little about earlier about term life insurance and whole life insurance. So if you think about it like this, because we've got like universal term and all that, there are a lot of different confusing terminology when you talk about life insurance. So the most easiest way I think about it as far as whole life insurance is that's gonna cover you your whole life, right, till the day you die, which typically, that's why you see those higher
You can
premiums.
borrow it too, so there's others.
That's right, so there's whole life and gets, so the term life is gonna be, it's gonna cover you during a specific term. So that's where we have like the 10-year term, the 20-year term, the 30-year term. So it's gonna start as of January 1st, 2018. It's gonna go for that period of time. Depending on if you're still working here or not, we do have different pre-operations, things like that as well. You know,
Just at a higher rate.
right, you go off your age bracket at that point.
If you buy a 10-year term today, and it's $1 pay period, whatever it is, in 10 years, it may go to $12, because it's only 10 years old, it should be quite a bit higher.
Not looking good, but it's,
That's another big thing too, so like, that's where he was out about doing a 30-year term, that's what I honestly would recommend too. If you can do a 30-year term, you're gonna lock in your lower premium for a long period of time. Yeah.
So I can do
Depends on what, depends on, so you're right, so if you notice these here, if you're under, if you're 55 and under, you can do the 30-year term. If you're 65 and under, you can do the 20-year term, or the 30-year term. I'm sorry, or the 10-year term.
They expect you to.
If you're under age, if you're up to age 70, but older than 65, you can do the 10-year term.
If you're 71, you're screwed, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It's about 55.
I'm 71 years old, I'm
So if I'm 55,
Hold on, you guys.
I can still do it, 55 and under, right?
Oh, yeah, 30-year term, yes. 18 to 55, yes, you can still get that issue.
You better do it now,
I'm
Gigi.
55.
Hey, Gigi, you better sign up right now.
I better sign up
You
now.
better sign up right now, Gigi.
Shame the 34 guys.
Yeah, I wish.
I got that 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yes, so this is gonna be on top of what you currently have. So this does not interfere with what, any other kind of life insurance that you currently have. This is gonna be completely separate from that. So, okay, how much is it?
I can't even see that.
You got $20,000.
I can't see that. The buttons to stop or, oh wait, does that say power?
That's why we're offering this. What the company pays for is $20,000 on employees. That is gonna stay the same. This is additional out of your pocket.
I want you to know we appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to be honest, I mean, I do a lot of enrollments. I work with over 100 other companies, and very few of them have over 20,000 have that amount of life insurance for their employees. If you consider the number of employees you guys have here, that's a lot of money they're putting out from the company's perspective. So, yeah. I don't get that from my company, so I just say that.
Just another wonderful benefit of working at Pittsburgh Tank and Tower Group.
And the company will still be paying you too.
Pretty good.
All right.
All right, got any more questions?